Hello, good morning, welcome. See my breath, it's so cold. We're in Texas, but it's still cold. We do get ice. I'm trying to get on the highway here. I came from Wisconsin. I came from a city in Wisconsin that was about 100 miles north of Chicago. And my brother and I were 18 when we came to Dallas. I was 18, he was 19. I remember driving out of the driveway from my home in Wisconsin. And it was summertime when we left Wisconsin to come to Texas. My brother and I, we were driving a 69 Camaro, piece of junk Camaro, rusted out on its last legs. We really didn't think it was going to make it as far as it made it. My dad told me, well, if the car breaks down on the way, just stop where you are and get a job and pay for the repairs and then go back on your way. It's morning, I just woke up, so if I look sleepy or if my hair is out of place, don't be too harsh on me, I guess. But I remember as we were leaving the driveway or leaving the house, driving down the driveway of the house where we were living in Wisconsin, coming to Texas, before we were coming to Texas, I remember, it was summertime, the windows were open in the car, I had no air conditioning. As I said, this car was kind of old and falling apart. And I remember hearing a noise from behind me. It was like a yelling or something. Somebody was yelling at me, and I didn't know what it was. And I looked in the rearview mirror, and my mom was running behind me. And I thought to myself, "Oh, how special! My mom is running behind me. She's gonna miss me. She's gonna want to give me a hug and say goodbye." Yeah, that's not what happened. She started yelling at us. Not yelling, but just telling us that we couldn't take the blankets with us because Texas doesn't get cold weather. Yeah, well, little does she know, we get ice, we get snow, and it doesn't last very long. It lasts probably a couple days. We get a sprinkling of snow or maybe an inch of snow, a little bit of ice on the roads, and then everybody in the city just goes crazy. Nobody knows how to drive in the colder weather. And you see cars all over the ditches. Anyway, welcome to the 17th day. And the reason I wanted to call it the 17th day, I told you I would tell you a little bit about where that idea came from for the name, the 17th day. Well, my brother and I used to do videos in the day back, 10 years ago, 8 years ago or whatever. And I loved it. I loved the video production. My brother, I thought, he's a year older than me. He's the one that came to Texas with me. I really thought that he would be getting into the video production side of things as well. It's kind of a nice, it's a fun art. It's fun. And I've been an artist all my life. I've been I used to start drawing. I used to, draw with pencil. I've done pastel or charcoal, I guess you could call it. I've done pastels, I've done watercolors, I've done oil paints, I've done ceramics, sculpture, wire sculpture. When I was in high school, I used to make a lot of, I used to joke around a lot in school. And the kids in the school would tell me that I would make a great comedian. So when I came to Texas, I tried my hand at stand-up comedy, and I did pretty well for about a year. I did stand-up comedy for a year. Only open mic nights. Okay, that's hard to say. Only open mic nights. That's hard to say. Anyway, I remember the first time I went up on stage for an audition at a comedy club. I couldn't think of one joke, and the manager was so nice, super nice. And he just said to me, go home and write some material and then come back. Go home, write some material, memorize it, and then come back. And I did. And the funny thing was, I wrote all these jokes down. I probably wrote down about 20 jokes. And I put them on a piece of paper, and I tried to have some kind of similarity between the one or the other. You know, I didn't hop all over the place. So if I was talking about dogs, I might talk about cats next, and then go into horses, and then maybe living on the farm, and so on and so forth. And so I wrote these jokes. I started memorizing them like a theater production, like a theater play, you know, like you do when you're on stage. And when I get up on the stage in the nightclub, in the comedy club, I said my first joke, and the audience just bust out laughing. I did not expect that. I don't know why, but it totally shocked me. It totally threw me off my game, and I literally forgot my next line. Can you believe that? I literally forgot my next joke. I didn't know what to say. I was stumped for a minute or so, or 10 seconds or so, until my brain regained composure. And I have to say that stand-up comedy was probably one of the best things that ever happened to me. I did it for a year. I loved it. And I looked at my art, my paintings and such, and I would spend hours. I would spend, 30, 40 hours on one painting. And people would come in the room and see my paintings, and they would go, that looks nice, or whatever. They'd say something, flat, like complimentary, like, oh, that's a nice painting, or great work, or whatever. And then you spend 10 minutes working on a joke, and you get a whole room full of people laughing. You get 40, 50, 60, 70 people laughing. And I thought the payoff for the comedy was a bigger reward. There was a bigger reward for the work. There was a bigger reward for the work. So I decided I would give up on my art and focus on comedy. And I did that for a year, as I said. I did that for a year, and I loved it. And I'll tell you why I quit later in another video. I want to go back to why I'm calling this the 17th day. Why the videos, or why the channel is called the 17th day. If you Google 17th day of April, I think there's like 5 or 6 major events. There's 5 or 6 major events, biblically speaking, that have happened on the 17th of April. And they say the odds for those things all happening at the same time, or on the same day, April 17th, but different years, is astronomical. It's like billions to one that all these events happened on the same day. One of the things that happened on the 17th of April, according to this website, was that Jesus was resurrected from the dead. I don't have the list of the things. I think it's like Moses led the people out of Egypt, and I'm trying to remember. Moses led the people out of Egypt. I think that was one of them. I think Noah entered the ark. When my brother and I were doing videos, as I started to tell you, I know I kind of got sidetracked. When my brother and I were working on videos 8 years ago, I wanted to do a video log with my brother because I liked my brother. I really enjoyed being with my brother. We butt heads like crazy. We really couldn't see eye to eye on anything, and it was hard to get any work done with my brother. And but I loved my brother. I really enjoyed being with my brother. And as I said, we butt heads like crazy. We argued all the time. And I liked the fact that he could stand up to me with a good argument. He didn't back down, and he didn't run away or whatever. And I really wanted to make a video channel with him because we have some good banter back and forth. And I don't know if people want to hear a couple of people arguing, but it's not a boring video. We have a couple boring. It's not a boring video, or it wouldn't be a boring video with my brother and I talking or sharing our beliefs or ideas. And I know half the time we're going to probably argue about it over the, on the internet, on the video that we're creating. But I will say this: it's never going to be, or it would never be, a boring video, and that's what I liked. That's what I wanted to do with my brother. I really wanted to do that with my brother. And so we were trying to think of a name that we both could agree on. It's like having a baby, When you're having a baby, you and your wife or you and your husband have to think of a name that you both agree on, that you both enjoy, that you both want to call the baby. if you want to call the baby Brenda and your wife doesn't like that name because it reminds her of an ex-girlfriend of yours, then guess what? You're not going to be calling that baby Brenda. So my brother and I, we were working on a video vlog, and we were trying to come up with a name that we both agreed on, and we couldn't think of a name that we both agreed on. And my younger daughter, who is now 22, she came up with the name The 10th Day, and I asked her, and my brother and I both agreed that that was a great name for a video log channel. And I asked my younger daughter, she was probably, I don't know, maybe 10 at the time. I said, where did you get that name from? And she said that she was watching a TV series called The 10th Kingdom. I think Hallmark put out The 10th Kingdom. It was a kind of a fantasy series. And that's why we called the video channel The 10th Day. And when I started working on this video, I thought, what am I going to call it? And I thought, I like the 10th day. Why don't I do the 8th day? You know, numbers in God's world mean things. Like the number 1,000 means infinity. Back in the day, back when Jesus was around, the number 1,000 actually meant eternity. That's why the Bible says that the Lord Jesus Christ will set up his kingdom for 1,000 days or 1,000 years. What it means is forever. It means he will set up his kingdom forever. Anyway, the production is coming along. We are in the process of making the costumes. Today I'll start working on building some set pieces. I will let you know how everything goes as we go. Let me get off the video right now. Let me log off, and we will see you in another video. I hope you enjoy these videos, and give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hope you have a good day.